week's parsha, we learn a fascinating insight in leadership and one of the crucial components of what it takes to be a great leader. Because great leaders are not expected never to make mistakes, because indeed we are all human and we often make errors. But when we do make mistakes, we are expected to take responsibility for that and say perhaps the most difficult words that a person can mention, and that was, "I was wrong." And we find that in this week's parsha with the story of Yehuda and Tamar. Yehuda has this relationship with Tamar, and he fathers her children. She's pregnant with twins. Tamar is accused of being unfaithful, and she is sentenced to death for her promiscuity. And she refuses to reveal the identity of the man that fathered her children. And as she is taken to be executed, she says, "Will the person that gave me these objects," meaning the man who fathered her children, can he identify himself? And Yehuda had a choice. He did not have to go ahead and identify himself, but when he realized who it was, he said, "Tzadka mimeni," famously. He said that she is more righteous than I am. I am indeed wrong. Was it easy for Yehuda to say that? Of course not. He was shamed at that time. Everyone knew that he was involved in that kind of activity, but there was something more important than that at the moment, and that was taking responsibility for his actions and coming to terms with that and saying those words that I was wrong. And that's a great lesson for us, because many times when we go ahead and we are engaged in activities which are not appropriate, or we say things which we should not have, it's very difficult for us to go ahead and say, "I was wrong." But Yehuda taught us that. And Yehuda taught us what it means to be a great leader. Folks, in our lives, in our days, many times we are confronted with situations where we are forced to take responsibility for our actions. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to go and look people in the eye and say, "I was wrong." But let us remember the lesson of Yehuda, and let us remember what it always means to be a great leader. Have a wonderful Shabbos.